Hi, my name is Nick Grange from Elite Outdoor Fitness, and this video blog is about supplementation, vitamins, minerals, all that good stuff. If you've listened to a number of my videos and blogs, etc., and you're a member, and if you're not, then become a member, then you would have noticed I'm kind of into all that. I'm into all the alternative kind of remedies and bits and bobs, because the importance is it's stress in your system and the adaptations that are caused from that stress on your body and mind. And you all know that kind of that makes sense. You know, when you do some of the harder sessions within Elite Outdoor Fitness when you're capable, what are you trying to achieve from those? How are you physically kind of making gains on that? And sometimes towards the end of the training program, certainly that I put in for maybe the lads that go in SF or people that want to get personal best or a sub 315 on the fan outs or something along those lines, they're doing some really taxing sessions. Some of those sessions towards the end are there to facilitate change in robustness and resilience and mental capacity. And you have to go through some kind of arduous sessions to kind of get your body to respond to that. And it's a learning process. You know, when I came back from being away, I was really kind of capable because it was part of my job. And we kind of found ourselves in many situations where I had to use my physicality and my robustness to kind of to cope with the kind of those stresses day on beyond for 11 years, operational essentially. When I came home and I didn't do that for a year, and then I started to go and do like those world records just to show to myself that I could do something like that again, I had to build all that resilience and robustness up again to a certain extent. Although, yeah, it's kind of in your body a little bit in your mind, you have to build on that and you have to work through that. And part of that process is through actually recovery. And recovery, I know they kind of say it in all the blogs and bits and bobs of recovery is just as important as training, but it kind of is, it really is. And I think that's why I'm kind of a good coach for a number of other reasons as well, is that I kind of understand the importance. When I'm training, I make sure that I'm recovering. I'm not only recovering that day after a session and make sure I'm like maximising my recovery in the small amount of time that I've got until I'm training another session. I'm not only making sure that within that session I'm actually recovering quickly between my reps, or when I get to the top of that hill I'm recovering at efficiency pace, but also on my weekly sessions I'm making sure that I'm recovering from that long LSD, or I'm recovering from that speed session. And so I might be training 5 or 6 or 10 times a week, but it's very kind of calculated, so that it ensures that I'm active whilst recovering from one of the taxing demands. And when you're working like we are in the components of physical fitness, you can be taxing a number of them, but recovering on others at the same time. And that in turn facilitates great progression. Okay? Over weeks, like 10, 12, 16, 22 weeks, I'm making sure that I'm putting my deload weeks and my tapering weeks in there before I'm racing, and then even a deload week after a race. And if I'm not racing, every 6 or 8 weeks, I've got a deload week. And if I think that I'm getting ill, I'm on a deload week pretty much, or maybe a 5-day, to make sure I go, I don't want to get ill. I don't want my immunity to drop down. I've got to manage this. And so those, in essence, are kind of recovery weeks and making sure that I'm listening to my body. And that all kind of tailors into what I put in my body. I probably drink a little bit too much. I'm aware of that, twice a week maybe. And like with the the times at the moment with COVID and all that good stuff, like kind of people are probably drinking a bit too much. So just knock it on the head and look after that. And think, right, okay, well if I train 5 times a week, I can drink maybe, for drinking more than twice a week, I can drink the nights before I have a day off. Job done, isn't it? That's what I do. And then don't overcook it either on that. You know, have a bit of flipping, look after yourself, and maybe after like 2 or 3 drinks, nick a litre of water. That's what I do. To make sure that kind of I can do that, but I'm looking after myself at the same time. Make sure you've got a good sleep routine. That comes into play whether you're a father, a wife, a husband, whatever, or a manager of people. If you don't get enough sleep and it's not consistent routine sleep, you'll probably be a knobhead, won't you, in your job or whatever you're doing. Routine, consistent sleep gives you balance throughout. Make sure you've got balance in all your kind of your dietary needs, because that's going to influence your recovery. Make sure you're eating loads of fruit and veg. Why do you have 5 a day? Does anybody know? I do. Because it's full of phytochemicals, one of the non-nutrients or the nutrients of life. Phytochemicals, look it up. I've got a blog on it. It's not lipids, it's not water, it's not vitamins, it's not minerals, it's not proteins, it's not carbohydrates. It's phytochemicals, the nutrients of life. They're the bits that you get from the orange in oranges, or the lemon in lemons, the greens in greens, the purples in aubergines, the orange in orange oil that you might put in your bath or put in a scented candle that you've got in like Mountain Fuel bars to facilitate exercise performance. Turmeric to encourage inflammation and reducing inflammation. There's so much going on there, so make sure that you've got a balanced diet, because if you don't even know about all that stuff, at least you're kind of maximising as much as you can by eating loads of fruit and vegetables. When I say fruit and vegetables, I mean vegetables and probably 2 or 3% fruit, because it's got lots of fructose in. But you get the idea. And one of the parts of that, and certainly something I help myself, is that when I'm kind of engaging into more robust training and just building up past my month thing, you need a little bit of help. And I think that most people do as well. And so we're kind of involved with Mountain Fuel. We don't benefit from anything there, monetary-wise, or anything like that. I'm only selling their product because I use it myself, I pay for it myself, and it works. I've used loads and loads of them. I was in the Middle East for 11 years, working with the Americans, and they've just got shitloads of stuff out there that's available to all the people. And so I've tried everything. And what I find with Mountain Fuel is it sits well with you. It doesn't taste or feel synthetic and artificial. Certainly they've got nighttime fuel, they've got a morning fuel, and we work with them because I've said these are the kind of disciplines that we do. We run a fast 10 miler, we run a relatively fast, long back-to-back 15 to 20 milers. And so they kind of tailored certain kind of plans and fuels to ensure that it's kind of helping you with the demands of kind of weighted fitness and some of the ultra stuff that we do. So it's really kind of worth having a look at them. We've got discounts, 15, 20% discounts, depending on what kind of level you're with Elite Outdoor Fitness you're on, whether you're a member or not, part of the team. And so kind of, tap into us and ask for that if you can't find it on the website. But it's good. I take a small one in the morning for my morning shake, especially when I'm really kind of doing demanding sessions. And I take the night fuel. The night fuel is the best one. It doesn't interrupt my sleep like all the other protein shakes do. It's good stuff. And you can kind of manage your training sessions. When you start then going out and getting involved in stuff that's probably 12, 14 miles or an hour and a half in duration, you can start really tapping into kind of doing a food kind of diary of what you need. And that's all on our website. You can kind of go, buy that, and that's what I need to take for the training session. And then there's lots of gels and all that lot for like sub 10 miles and for the 10 miles and above. So plenty of stuff going out there, and it's really important because it's going to change the way that you train, and it's going to change how quickly you recover. And if you recover quickly and you make sure that you've got the right nutrients, you're good to go. That's why you can get two athletes that train about the same. There's two different outcomes. Of course, body composition and like past experience is going to play a little bit of a part, but everything's very similar. One might progress a little bit differently. One's muscles might react to training on training day a bit different to somebody else's. It's all in the training, the loading, the progression, and the recovery. That's it. So just go that little bit of extra and do a bit of research. And if you can't be bothered to do that, go on to Elite Outdoor Fitness, have a look at the events you're interested in, and look at what Mountain Fuel provide. Get on there and purchase it. Jobs are good. Thanks for listening. Chat soon.